Hello folks, how's it going? Recently I came across a PSP in a second-hand store in Tokyo. It was retailing for around £25 and the guy who sold it to me said it was broken and incredibly unstable. Naturally, I decided to buy it and see if I can fix it up. And as you can see, I did. So this video is here to show you what I've put on this PSP and why the PSP has become my media player of choice, especially with regards to listening to music. So for starters, let's dig into what the PSP can actually do. To be perfectly honest with you, it was the device that was truly ahead of its time. You could play games, listen to music, watch movies, hell you could even use it as a makeshift camcorder if you were willing to buy the correct accessory. It was the portable device before the iPhone came around and sort of we could do all of that on our smartphones. But I think there's something so much more cool about consuming media on a PSP than on a smartphone. For starters, you can't do any cloud streaming on a PSP. I somehow doubt the latest version of Spotify and Netflix are going to run on this thing. I'm sure there's some way you can put YouTube on it, but I feel that kind of defeats the point of using the PSP at all if you're going to do that. With the PSP, and with any sort of physical media player, you have to choose what goes into it. For every song, movie and game, there has to be some sort of purposeful intention for using the PSP to consume that sort of media. It only has a finite storage capacity and you obviously can't exceed that. So what have I put on my PSP? Let me show you. Well, first of all, I've put my own custom theme on there. I'm a big Evangelion fan, so I've gone with a Rei Ayanami theme, but you can get pretty much whatever theme you want on there from like whatever IP you want. So I also have some Final Fantasy themes, a Persona theme, a Bebop theme, obviously the Ayanami theme, and a Miku theme as well. I should probably explain this. In researching my trip to Japan, I came across a genre that is Vocaloid music and got really into it, so that's why there is a Miku theme on here. I should also point out this PSP is modded. I'm not going to show you how to mod it, but it is incredibly simple. Even if you don't have much experience in technology, you can honestly do it really easily. Anyways, that's the wallpapers, onto the games. I have Little Big Planet. I never actually played this game as a kid. See, I didn't grow up with a PSP. I was a Nintendo and Xbox kid. The DS Lite, the Wii, the Xbox 360, that was my shit. So having this console in my possession allows me to play the games that I pretty much missed during my childhood. I also have the Hatsune Miku Project Diva game. I played the 3DS Project Mirai game and I really liked that, so I thought I may as well throw the Miku PSP game on there as well. I've heard it's really good though, and I'm very excited to play that soon. Up next is Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force 2. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is one of my favourite animes of all time. I've watched it countless times and I've played the DS games an absolute shit ton. Overall, it's probably my favourite era of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Tag Force seems to be the best GX experience on the console. I've been having a great time playing this game the last few days. Up next is Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. I've never actually played a Kingdom Hearts game, but I absolutely love the aesthetic of them. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep is the prequel to the first Kingdom Hearts game, so it seems to be a brilliant place to start the franchise. I remember when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out and I really wanted to play it, but unfortunately I never got around to it. Overall, I'm really looking forward to trying this game out and getting to grips with the franchise that I've wanted to explore for so long. We also have God of War Chains of Olympus. I've watched playthroughs of the new God of War games, but I have very little experience with the old school versions. Apparently Kratos is a fucking demon in this series. To be completely honest, the gameplay looked really fun and that's kind of why I put the game on the PSP. We also have Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max. I am a huge fan of the Street Fighter franchise. On pretty much every console I have a Street Fighter game on there, but I am absolutely terrible at them. However, I do really enjoy playing them, and Street Fighter is one of those games I can pick up and play when I'm waiting for a train or a bus, so that's why it's on here. We also have Final Fantasy Tactics. I've played Final Fantasy VII and I absolutely love that game, but I've never played Tactics. I recently got a remix, so I thought now is a better time than any to get into it. And finally, we have Persona 3 Portable. Despite only playing Persona 4 Golden and half of Persona 3 on my Switch, the Persona series is one of my favourite series of all time. I have not started playing Persona 3 on my PSP yet, mainly because I'm debating whether to finish my playthrough on my Switch when I get back to the UK first, or just dive into a new playthrough now. That's kind of where my head's at with that, but I thought there's no way I can mod a PSP and not put Persona 3 Portable on there. What a fantastic game. However, playing the PSP games is not what I'm using the PSP for the most. That resides with its MP3 playing capabilities. Now I haven't got too many albums on here, I've only chosen some of my favourites. But I think that's what makes listening to music on the PSP just so much more meaningful. I can't just load the new song on there at the press of a button. I need to download the files onto my phone or tablet, sort them into an order that the PSP can read, and transfer the files via USB to file management software. It takes time, and it's definitely more inconvenient than using Spotify or Apple Music. but it is this lack of accessibility that makes music feel so much more worthwhile and makes me enjoy my favourite songs just that much more. I think it's the fact that I have to put in some form of effort to listen to my music that kind of heightens my appreciation of it. Also, just something so cool about whipping out your PSP and wrapping your earphone wires around it when you finish listening to your songs. In my day-to-day life, I can comfortably say the PSP has replaced Spotify as a means of listening to music. However, there are still some circumstances where I use a cloud streaming platform. In the gym, for example, it is wholly more practical to connect Bluetooth headphones to my phone than it is to run a wire across my body to the PSP. Also, for things like finding music for these videos, Spotify's search tool makes it easy for me to find songs from different video game franchises that I like, and also to capture different vibes for different parts of the video. I will also admit, the PSP is not a perfect music playing device. The sound is tinny, the speakers themselves aren't great, and it is admittedly a bit of a headache to organise each song in each album to be in correct order. But these imperfections are why I enjoy using the PSP as a music player so much. As I said, it is the intention and effort in putting each individual song onto my device that makes me appreciate the music just that much more. If you ever get to the point where you're bored of constantly jumping through different playlists, get a physical media player. I can almost guarantee it will change your life. But folks, that's the end of the video. A bit of a jumbled mess, but I hope that I got my point across. If you want to hear more about my thoughts on the PSP, I wrote an article for my magazine called Colour Theory on it, which will be linked down below. As usual, please hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed these videos. It really helps the channel a lot and helps push these videos further out across YouTube. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.